Hello, everybody. I hope you are fine wherever you are. Welcome to our second segment of the absorption costing lecture. That is week 11 for those doing the MA1 and MA2 hybrid class. Okay, and like you know, or as you know, we are left with only 5 lectures before we embark on our revision exercise, which is going to take at least about 2 weeks. So everybody should be prepared, and we should ensure that we have budgeted for our upcoming exams. Okay, the exam fees, we have done all the necessary arrangement when it comes to exam centers. If we are writing, we are going to write at an exam center, or sometimes we have to arrange if we have got the necessary infrastructure for a home-based examination. And we have to, as an ACCA student, you just have to acquaint yourself with the reviewing correspondences from ACCA through your email or on their website, okay, for their updates on these CBE exams, on exam centers and so forth. You just have to acquaint yourself with the ACCA website so that you are knowledgeable when it comes to how the examinations are going to be conducted and so forth. I'm also going to assist you in how to maneuvering the CBE exam, the CBE environment. Remember, there is also a free link for registered ACCA students for the CBE exams. I think every module, yes, I'm quite sure every module is has got a simple CBE exam, so that students can acquaint themselves, can know what is expected of them in the examination. Okay, you must not be taken unawares. This exam is not an ambush. You just have to know what is going to happen. But the true fact is that the truth and the fact for sure, you are going to write a CB exam, a computer-based examination. Okay, so please just like visiting the ACCA website. Okay, without wasting your time, we're now going into the second segment of this lecture. In the previous video, we discussed about absorption costing principles in general, the issues to do with the 3 stages in absorption costing. That is, the first one was allocation, and followed by apportionment, and then absorption. Now we touched a method of apportionment, of reapportionment, called the direct method. Okay, where we say that this method, the service cost centers are not going to be apportioned among the service other service centers, but they are going to be taken as well to the production cost centers only. However, in the next, or in this other method, that is the step down approach, we are going to say that service cost centers, there's going to be some inter-service connection. Okay, inter-service apportionment, inter-service cost center apportionment, of course, where we are saying that the service centers themselves, they are going to have their costs being shared to other service cost centers who are receiving their services, in addition to the production cost center apportionment. Okay, so that's the step down approach. Okay, and like I said, there are 2 methods from which are going to be examined, okay, when it comes to reapportionment of overheads. Do not be shocked on exam day when you see this term reapportionment or step down approach or direct method. When we talk of the step down approach, we're just saying that there's going to be some inter-service cost center apportionment, where on top of apportioning to the production cost centers, the service costs are also going to be shared among the other service centers. Are we together? So that is the case. And to elucidate this point, we are going to do an example so that we understand what we are talking about. But remember, before we do that, there are two stages in the step down approach which you have to get used to. All right. There is a step one where we are saying that reapportion one of the service cost senders overheads to all the other senders which make use of its services, that is production and service cost sender. Then reapportion the overheads of the remaining service cost sender to production cost senders only. All right. Okay. The other service cost sender is ignored. All right. Just 1 minute. Just 1 minute. All right. So with those two steps in mind, please also be in mind that the step down method of reapportionment apportion the cost of service cost senders to other cost senders, but I just want to highlight this. Okay, let me just highlight this as an emphasis. Okay, but once a service cost sender's costs have been apportioned, no subsequent costs are apportioned to it. You'll see in the exam what we mean. Okay, because this is where a lot of students get confused on how to go about it. Okay, don't worry. But once we are done with the apportionment of a service cost sender, we are done with it. We are not going to reapportion its cost again. Okay, so that's the rule. Otherwise, we are going to have a recurring situation where we are not going to finish the apportionment. So this is how the economists or management accountants have come up, have managed to deal with the issue. All right, it's actually a noble method, but this is the major rule you have to take into consideration. Always keep an eye over this rule. All right, so let's go straight away into the example so that whatever we discuss is meaningful. Okay, I'm trying to ensure that my question is visible as much as possible. Yes. Musako has two production cost centers and two service cost centers. That's Musako. Okay, that's Musako. All right, that is the service cost centers are stores and maintenance. The following information about activity in a recent costing period is available. Okay, is available. So these are the information where we are having production cost center, cost centers, cost center 1 and cost center 2. These are the production cost centers. All right. Okay. In an exam situation, you just have to do your mathematics very fast because there is no time to play. Okay, so in an exam you have to actually cruise. All right, even at the speed of 30-20, doesn't matter. Just have to make sure you are not making mistakes in your hurry, in your hurriedness. Okay, so we've got two production cost centers and two service cost centers. Then we've got overhead costs. These are the costs. We've got value of material requisitions and maintenance hours. Then the stores and maintenance cost centers do not work for each other. I mean, do work. They do work for each other as shown below. And these are the percentages of the amount of services a cost center is doing. For example, the stores cost center is giving 30% of its services to production 1 cost center and 50% of its services to production 2 cost center, and then lastly to the maintenance cost center itself for 20%. Then likewise, the maintenance cost center is giving the stores cost center 10% of its services, 10% of production 2 services, and 80% of production 1 services. Now, using the information given above, reapportion the service cost center overhead costs using the step-down method of apportionment, starting with the store's cost center. So we do not have to waste a lot of time. Let us go straight away. Okay, we will be playing with these figures in a moment, but let's us first come up with a table. Okay, this table, production cost centers, okay, and service cost centers, and we are having production cost center 1, okay, and production cost center 2. Do not be confused, okay, do not be confused. Hello, this is not tricky anymore. And then we have got service center, stores, and there's stores and what? There is maintenance. These are the two service centers we have. Okay, we can just put our dollar sign. Here we are taking off money. Okay, now remember, we want to apportion, reapportion the cost of these service cost centers. Okay, that's what we want to do. That's what we have to do. Okay, so we're going to take this information as it is. Okay, the overhead information as it is for these departments. Okay, these ones are going to be taken as they are. All right, these ones are going to be taken as they are. So that's 1030, the overhead data. That's 1030, and how much for production cost center 2? That's 8970. 8970. We also have to take this one as it is. Okay, that's how much was it? That's 10,000 and 8,000. Okay, but we need to reapportion starting with the stores, because the question is saying start with the stores, starting with the stores. So what it means is the 10,000 is to be shared first. So to share the 10,000, we have to follow a systematic approach. Remember, by the end of the day, it should be systematic. Okay, that's apportionment of stores, or just say apportion stores. But using what percentages? The percentages are given in the question on the second table. Okay, the second table. Okay, the stores is given 30%, 50%, and 20% of its services to these cost centers. So we are going to apportion based on the 30, 50, and 20. 30, 50, 20. 30%. Okay. 50%. 20%. Okay, but remember, we are going to apportion the 10,000 first. So we're going to deduct 10,000, and which means we're going to be left with 0. Okay, and we are going to share the 10,000 amongst these, and we are saying that 30,000 goes to production cost center 1. So 30% of 10,000 goes to production cost center 1. So 30% of 10,000 is 3,000. Please confirm with your calculator. 50% of 10,000, that's 10. Hey, that's 5,000. And then 20%, that's 2,000. Okay, that's 2,000. So we are going to underline here. Remember, the reason why we are underlining to these at these service cost center is that these are the ones whose costs are to be apportioned to production cost centers. So now on cost center for maintenance, we are now going to have 8,000 plus 2,000 plus 2,000, that's 10,000 bucks. 10,000 in terms of costs. Okay, now we have to reapportion the cost for the maintenance cost center now. Okay, and which percentage are we going to use now? That's the very, very important question. Which percentage are we going to use now? Can you just think of it? Okay, to reapportion this 10,000, we have to be led by the apportionment percentages based on the amount of services the maintenance cost center is giving to other cost centers. So if we go back to the question, we'll be led accordingly. Okay, the maintenance cost center gives 10% to stores cost center, 10% to production cost center 2, and 80% to production cost center number 1. So what happens is, since we have already apportioned the overheads for the cost center stores, for the stores cost center, we have already done that. Here. You can see we have already done the apportionment, the reapportionment of these cost centers overheads. So it means that we are done with the stores. So what does it mean? If we are done with the stores, it means this we have to ignore, and we are now working with this one. So we are now having a total of 80 plus 10, that's 90% is our denominator. So to apportion the cost now, we are now dealing with 80% over 90 and 10% over 90. That's what we are going to do now. That's why I said to this statement. It's very, very important. This is a very important statement. So let us now apportion maintenance. Here was apportioning stores. It's now apportion maintenance. And like I said, we're now going to use the two percentages, that is 80% and 10%. Okay, 80% and 10%. All right, so what it means is what it means here, it's no longer 80% as it is, but it's now 80 over 90%. Okay, and this one is 10 over 90. Okay, 10 over 90%, or 8 over 9, or 10 over 9, 10 over 9, or 1 over 9. Okay, so that said, so 8 over 9, 8 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. Here, here is very simple. Okay, here is very simple. Just deduct the whole of 10,000 from 10,000. That's a 0. So, but here now, that's where our issue is. This is where our issue is. We want to apportion this 10,000, and remember, here we are not going to give anything there. All right, we're not going to give anything there. Are we together? So this is when we need to total up here. Just have to total up. All right, and here already we are having zeros. So 10,000 is to be shared like this. 80% over 90% is the same as 8 over 9. Okay, 8 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. What do we get? 8 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. That's 8,889 if you round off to the nearest whole number. Okay, and then you do the same. So we are saying here is 8,889, and then that is for production cost center 1 and production cost center 2. You just have to say 1 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. So you can see that the principle is just the same from what we did earlier on. Okay, just the same. 1 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. 1 over 9 multiplied by 10,000. That's 1,111. Okay, 1,111. Let's add them up. How much do we have now? 10,000 and 30. Okay. Oh, 10,000 and 30 plus 3,000 plus 8,889. That's 21,919. You do the same for production cost center number 2. We have 8,970 plus 5,000 plus 1,111. Bah! That's 15,081. Okay, you can see that these are the total overheads, and we have done using the information given, reapportion the cost the service cost center overhead costs using the step down method of apportionment starting from the store's cost center. What was going to be the difference if we had, so these are the total overheads, okay, these are the total overheads, these ones for the production cost center number 1 and production cost center number 2. Okay, we're done. But the question is, what if we had started with the maintenance service center, service cost center? So if the first apportionment had been the maintenance cost center, then the overheads of 8,000 would have been apportioned as follows. So we do the same thing, okay, we mustn't be intimidated, we just have to do the same thing. But what's important is you just have to replay this video until you understand it better, okay? Everyone must pass, everyone must pass. All right, so this is what is going to happen. Okay, we just have to draw the same table again. Okay, and in the exam, please just know that you have to do these things on a notepad. Remember, yours is just multiple choice. Okay, just multiple choice. Okay, if you want to show the examiners you're working, you just have to write on a portion where the examiner is going to see your answer. But in this case, usually this is a multiple choice exam, so you just have to do your working somewhere very fast. No need to use a ruler, just draw so that you understand what's going on, and then you slot in the answer. You choose your answer, you choose the choice that is going to be, you think that's the best answer. All right, so no need for perfect drawing like what we used to do in primary. This is not the case here. This is not the story. The story has changed. You just have to push on, cruise over. Okay, so that's not the time. Production, so it's just a table as before. Production cost centers, we've got center 1 and center 2, okay, and then service cost centers. We've got stores, we've got maintenance. Okay, all right, just slot in the dollar signs, and then we've got our overheads. This just oh my god. Okay, it's just my shortcut for overheads. I'm confusing you even more. Wow. Okay, overheads, that's the overheads I'm talking about, and they're given the question. Let us just have to slot them 8970, if I'm not mistaken. $8970, as you can see. Okay, those are the overhead costs, and we need to we just have to these are the very important figures. The first line, the overheads, these overheads, okay, these are the very important figures for our computation. Okay, so here we've got 10,000, and here that's 8,000. And the question is saying, what if we had started this reapportionment process with the maintenance department? What was going to happen? So we just do the same thing here. We are going to first deduct 8,000. Okay, go to deduct 8,000. So here we are having a 0. So we are now going to share 8,000 among stores, the production cost centers. Okay, so apportion maintenance here. Apportion maintenance the overhead we are apportioning. So let us go. Maintenance was saving these guys with an 80 10 10. If you still remember, 80%, 10%, 10%, 80%, 10%, 10%. As you can see, let me just, okay, as you can see, that's maintenance was saving. Maintenance was saving these guys. Maintenance was giving 10%, 10%, and 80%. That's how maintenance was servicing these guys. Okay, so we just use the same ratios, the same percentages. That's 80%, 10%, 10%. Okay, so 80% of 8,000, that's 6,400. 8 by 80, that's 64. So that's how you can do the mathematics correct. 10% of 8,000, that's 800. 800. And then 10% of 8,000, that's 800. Okay, we underline here. So if we underline, we are going to have 10,800, and we have to ensure this 10,800 is reapportioned. Okay, is reapportioned. So we're going to deduct. Let us have these lines continue for the purpose of our computations. Okay, so we're going to deduct the 10,800 because it is to be reapportioned to the production cost centers, but it is not going to be reapportioned to the maintenance service center because we have already reapportioned its overhead. So no more again. All right, so already there is now a 0. Okay, so for these guys it's now 0 0. Okay, but we have to reapportion here, so we're going to apportion stores. Now this time it's now stores, it's now stores, but at what rates now, at what percentages? We have to come back, we have to be led by the principle, we have to be led by the principle. Okay, let us go back to the question and see how much the stores, let's see the stores, its percentages. Let's rub this thing off. Okay, the stores, we ask ourselves, stores, how much in terms of percentages were you servicing these guys? And store will say, this is what store will say. Store will candidly say, guys, I was servicing production cost center 1 30%. Hey, come on, I don't want to use this color. What's going on? Somebody's defrauding me. I want the greener one. Yes, stores will say, guys, listen, I was servicing stores, production cost center 1 30%, production cost center 2 50%, and the maintenance department 20%. So which percentages are we going to use? We're going to use these ones. But for this guy, since his costs, his overheads have already been reapportioned, so we're going to ignore him. So we're now having 30% and 50%, and this gives us a total of 80%. So we're going to have 80. So the reapportionment is going to be based on 30% over 80%, 50% over 80%. Please hear me out. Please hear me out. I've touched my ear here. Okay, please hear me out. This is what is going to happen. All right, this is what is going to happen, and nobody must be found wanting. So we are going to reapportion for production cost center 1. We're going to say 30% over 80. So let's go back to our answer sheet. Okay, we are having 30% and 50%. This gives us 80%. So for the purpose of reapportionment for production cost center 1, we are remember we are sharing this 10,800. So we are going to say 30 over 80 multiplied by 10,800. That's 4,050. Okay, we are apportioning this figure. Okay, so the next one, we want to find the figure for here, but so we are going to say 50% over 80. 50 over 80, 50% over 80%, or 50 over 80, or 5 over 8. It's the same thing. 5 over 8 multiplied by 10,800. That's 6,750. 6,750. Then when we do that, we then say, let's get the total. These are the total overheads for these two production cost centers. So if we add up 10,000, let's use our calculator. That's 10,030 plus 6,400 plus 4050. We get 20,480. We go to the next production cost center. We have got according to our calculator, we've got 8970 plus 800 plus 6750. We get 1650. $16,520. All right, that's the total of the overheads according to the step down approach. I hope you have been helped. Okay. I hope we are enjoying the lecture. Okay, I hope we are enjoying the lecture. It's now time to move on to the next example, so that we do this once and for all. Alright, we're having Moyoko, okay, which has got two sales cost centers servicing two production cost centers. So these sales cost centers, they're servicing the production cost centers. Alright, and overhead costs allocated and apportioned to each cost center are as follows. These are the overhead costs. Okay, these are the overhead costs. And one thing I have to emphasize here is, when we are talking of apportionment and this and that, we are talking of overheads sharing. The overheads, not any other cost, but we are talking of overheads. Okay, we're talking of overheads. But this is the reason why, if we go back a little backwards to our previous example, you can see that we did not bother ourselves about these things. The material requisitions, all these guys, we didn't worry about them. Okay, but we only worried about these guys, the overhead. So in the exam, the examiner might put a lot of figures just to dazzle you, but if you stand by your principle, you are not going to be lost. Apportionment is, we are talking of overheads. Okay, we are talking of overheads. Remember, apportionment is the sharing of indirect costs. If we go back again further to our introductory part where we discussed about what was slide number 20, yes, apportionment. When we talk of apportionment, we are worried about apportionment. This is the second stage, apportionment of shared costs between cost centers. Apportionment is a procedure whereby indirect costs or overheads are spread between cost centers on a fair basis. We are not talking of direct costs. Please, I don't want any of my students to be found wanting here. We are talking of indirect costs, those costs which are shared among the cost centers. Those are the costs which need to be shared. Okay, they need to be shared on a fair basis. I'm sure they have emphasized a very important point. Okay, so let us go back to our matter of the day. Okay, I'm sure you guys are enjoying these slides. Just make use of, use of them. Okay, make sense out of them. All right, so this is the case now. We are given this information. All right, and just to lead yourself in an exam situation, you can just go straight to the question required. The finance director has asked you to reapportion the costs of the two sales cost centers using the direct method of apportionment. We've just done the step-down approach, but we did in our previous video the direct method, and I'm sure this is actually a good revision, a good recap, so that these two methods sink in your heart. They should sink. Hey guys, you must pass. I want you guys to pass. All right, so we're given this, which means if you underline here, these are the guys which needs to be apportioned, to be reapportioned. Okay, because these guys, they do not manufacture products, but these guys are the ones who manufacture products. So all the costs should be absorbed into their ledgers. Okay, they have to be included here. So how do we go about it? We are given information. Service one cost center is expected to work a total of 40,000 hours for the cost divided as follows. And if you add up these, you can get a total of 40,000. 20 plus 15 plus 5, that's 40,000. Okay, so these are the services offered by service cost center 1. It gives 1 to 1, it gives to 2, it then gives to service cost center number 2. Similarly, service 2 cost center is expected to work a total of 12,000 hours for the other cost centers divided as follows. So these are the guys, these are the total. If you add up 3 plus 8, that's 11, plus 1, 12, that's 12,000. So service cost center 2 is offering service to this guy, then to this guy, then to this guy. Okay, done. You can see the information starts to make sense when you scribble and scribble. But in the exam, remember, you end up scribbling and scribbling and scribbling, and by the end of the day, everything is distorted and you are confusing yourself again. So you just have to be mindful in your scribbling. Just have to be very mindful. Okay, I'm just doing it just for the purpose of teaching. All right. Then let us now do the work, because we have been given an assignment. The finance director has asked us to reapportion the costs of the two service cost centers using the direct method of apportionment. Like I said, direct method. In the direct method, the overhead for these service centers is not going to be apportioned among the service cost centers, but only to the production. So what we do here is we go straight away to our answer sheet. We draw a table. Okay, we draw a table. Remember, this is the direct method, direct apportionment method. Direct apportionment method or direct method, that's just the same. Okay, and we have got production 1, production 2, service 1, service 2. Okay, let us just, hey, what's happening to my hands? Okay, what's happening to my hand? Can't draw properly. Okay, all right. We've got our overheads as given in the question. Overheads were given in the question. For production center 1, that's 97,428. 97,428. For center 2, that's 84,947. 84,947. Says center 1, 9384. And then 15823. Okay, right, that's the issue here. If you have done this, if you do this, then you know that you're home and dry. We are only concerned about overheads. We are only concerned about overheads, and in this case the examiner has just made our job easier because they've only given us the information about the overheads. All right, so this one is a 15. That's a 15,828. Okay, that's fine. Then when we are given this, so let us now apportion, starting with, let us apportion service center 1, service 1. Okay, service 1 cost. All right, so which proportions are we going to use? Now we have to be led, because the question is saying that this service center, okay, is giving production cost center 20,000 hours. So you say 20,000 divided by a total of 40,000. Okay. By now, this thing should be in your fingertips, or let me just say at your fingertips. All right. 20,000 over 40,000 multiplied by how much? Remember, we want to apportion these overhead for service center 1. So that's for production 1, center 1, production 1. For production 1, we are saying 20,000 over 40,000 multiplied by 9384. And how much do we get? 20,000 over 40,000 multiplied by 9384. That's 4692. 4692. Okay. All right. I think there's somewhere we didn't get it. Okay. Has somebody seen this? Has somebody seen this? I had used if we divide by 40,000, what it means is we are doing the step down method. So we're not going to use the 40,000 there, all right, because this, for the purpose of reapportionment, this guy, okay, this guy, whatever it does to a service, to another service sender, is not going to be considered. Okay, so we're going to use 20 over 35,000. We are ignoring the 5,000. So 20 over 35,000, 20 over 35 multiplied by 9384. We're going to have 5362. 5362, and this is the figure we are going to use here. 5362. So here, for the purpose of apportionment, we're going to use 20 and 15. Okay, 20, 15. 20, 15. Okay. So 20, 15, this gives us 35. If you add them, you get 35, and you say that we say that you say this figure is found by, the figure here is found by 20 over 35 multiplied by this figure, because we are 9384. Okay, so this is 0 by 9384, and we are going to get this guy. That is, we did the calculation, and how much did we get? That's 5362. 5362. That's the figure there, and the figure for this part. The figure for this part, using another pen. Okay, the figure for this part, we're going to say 15, because remember, 20, we've already used 20 over 35. That's 15 over 35. 15 over 35 multiplied by 9384, and you get something like, how much do you get? 15 over 35 multiplied by 9384. That's 4022. Okay, that's our figure there. Okay, that's our figure, and we are done with the apportionment for the service cost center 1. Then let us now worry about the apportionment for the service center 2. So we can underline, we can find the totals. Okay, we can find the totals. This was just working. Okay, so just working. So let us find the totals. All right, 97428. 97428 plus 5362. That's 102,790. Okay, 102,790, and then if you add 84947 plus 4022, you get 88969. All right, then let us add. Okay, here we get 115,823. Okay, and then we have to reapportion this 15,823, the whole of it, to the production cost center. So here we are left with a 0, and okay, that's underline. Okay, here we're having a 0 and here there is a 0 because we can't reapportion anything to this. So 15,828, so 15,823. okay, so we have to apportion, saves sender number 2. This is the save sender number 2, and the percentages we are going to use, remember, we have to be led by the principle. We are not going to use all of these guys. This is now about the production senders only, according to the production save senders. So it's 3 and 8. Okay, that's 3 and 8. So we're going to use 3 and 8. 3 and 8. That's 3 plus 8. That's 11. So for the purpose of our computations, we're going to say, okay, we're going to say this one is not feasible. Which one now is feasible? Okay, let's use this one. We're going to say, for the purpose of our computation for part 1, we're going to say 3 over 11. Okay, 3 plus 8, that's 11. So 3 over 11 multiplied by 15,823. We're going to have somebody here. Here we are going to say, for this part, we're going to say 8 over 11. Okay, multiplied by 15,823, and we get the figure there. We get our answer. So what is this figure we are talking about? 3 over 11 multiplied by 15,823. That's 4315. 4315. We go to the next part. The next part, we are saying that 8 over 11 multiplied by 15,823. We get 11,508. Okay, then we have to tidy up. Let us tidy up. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. It's fine. Okay, so if we do a bit of some tidying, we get the totals. So that's 10,2790 plus 4315. That's 107 105 107 105, and here we get 88969 plus 11,508. That's 100,477. The total overheads. I'm sure this has been very, very, very clear. Okay, this has been very clear for our consumption. Okay, this has been very, very clear for our consumption, that using the direct method. Okay, without wasting time, now when you show the finance director how we have reapportioned the cost of the two saved cost senders, he says that I didn't say so. I didn't say use the direct method, but instead use the step down approach. Okay, he said use the step down approach. So How are you going to do the step down approach using the same figures? So let's do the step down approach together and see how it goes. Okay, let's do the step down approach together and see how it goes. Let me just look for a better pen. So for the step down approach, you just have to cool down, have a drink, just take a drink. Don't panic, okay? Don't panic, because you'll be inviting yourself some danger. All right, so there is no need to panic, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you mustn't panic when we are confronted with the issue of doing the step down approach. It's just the same here. The only difference is that in a step down approach, we are going to apportion the service cost center overheads to other service cost centers on top of the production cost centers. Okay, so it's just the same. Anyway, let us do this example so that we know what's going on. All right. Okay, I'm still big again. I'm still big. I want to be smaller. Okay. Okay, doesn't matter. Anyway, I want to be here. Okay, that's fine. It's okay, doesn't matter. Now the step down approach. Step down approach. We start with the production cost centers and services. Okay, the service cost centers. All right, the service cost centers. How many service cost centers do we have? We have center 1, center 2, production cost center 1 and cost center 2. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 1, 2. So this time our job is not that complicated. Okay, like I said, the first line just have to put the overheads. Okay, the overheads. All right, and for production cost center 1, the overheads will how much? 97428. 97428. 97428. For center 2, you can copy from the previous example. 84947. 84947. 84947. Then for service center 1, there's 9384. 9384, and then lastly 15823. Okay, now let's apportion service center 1. Service center 1. Okay, and using which percentages? Like I said, if we are using the step down approach, we'll be using all the information given. Okay, so we are going to use all these as part of the computation for the ratio. So this is what is going to happen. So our ratio is going to be 20, 15, 5 to come to 40. 20, 15, 5. 20, 15, 5. Okay. So once we have managed to come up with this ratio, okay, we then do what is obvious. We deduct 9384 from 9384 and we get a 0. Okay. Huh? 29. Okay. Stop disturbing. I'm sorry. That's my baby. I was crawling. Okay. Let me just. Okay. Let's now finish this example and then we'll move to the next. Right. It's been a very busy lecture. Okay. Now we want to apportion this 9,384. So what we do is, for this figure, that's 20 over 40 multiplied by 9384 and we get a figure there. 20 over 40, that's 0.5. Sorry, that's a half, isn't it? 20 over 40, that's half one. So that's 0.5 multiplied by 9384 and we get 4692. Then we've got 15 over 40 multiplied by 9384. 15 over 40 multiplied by 9384. The 3519. Okay, then we tie it up. Let's tie it up. Let's tie it up this time very carefully, because if we are not careful, we'll disturb the lines. Okay, then we also have to do the last part, the 5 over 15, 5 over 40 multiplied by 99384. That's 1173. All right, so we get these figures. Okay, so the totals will be, for the first column, that's 97428 plus 4692. We get 102 102 120 120. Then we have got 84947 plus 3519. We get 88466. 88466. Here there is a 0. Then we go to the last column. We've got 15823 plus 1173. That's 16996. Then we have to reapportion this 16,996 to get a 0 here. Then there is a 0 here. Okay, there is a 0 here, and then we're left with these two columns. So we're now apportioning the last self-center, though. That's apportion self-center 2. So it's these ratios. Okay, we're led by the question. Let's go back to the question. The question is saying that this self-center 2 is working these 381. These are the ratio. That's the ratio 381. 381 to make 3 plus 8, 11, 12. So the figure here is going to be 3 over 12 multiplied by this figure that is to be shared, 16,996, and we are going to get a figure there. Then here, that's 8 over 12. 8 over 12 multiplied by 16,996. You get a figure here, and then there is no other. Okay, there is no other. So you can see that we've made an error here. So what we are going to do is we have to ask ourselves, what is the error? The error is this one should not be considered, because on the second part of the reapportionment using the step down approach, we're not going to use to apportion again to this self-center because it has already been reapportioned. So we're going to work with 3 and 8. So working with 3 and 8, it means we're going to have a situation where we have 3 over 11. For this part, that's 3 over 11, and this one is 8 over 11. Sorry for that. 11. Okay, so 3 over 11 3 over 11 multiplied by 16,996. We're going to have 4635, and here we're going to have 8 over 11 multiplied by 16,996. We're going to have 12,361. 12,361. So let's do the tidying. Let's clean up our area. Okay, that's that. So we'll do this, and then we have to underline. So the total there for the first column is going to be 10,212 plus 4635. That's 106,755. 106,755. We go to the next one. 88466 plus 12,361. That's hundreds. 827. 827. This is how we are going to do it, ladies and gentlemen, and you just have to replay this video to know how it goes and so forth. Okay. Okay, we're having 154,000 divided by the budgeted activity, which is because for manufacturing they are saying labor hours, so the total labor hours were 110,000. 110,000. So if we use our calculator, 154,000 divided by 110,000, we're going to have 140. $1.40. Okay, so you can see that, hey, for elimination purposes, our answer should be between A and B. These ones just have to ignore. In an exam under exam pressure, you just have to eliminate. So our answer is on A and B. So do the last part for OAR for the packaging. OAR P is equal to budgeted overhead, that's $89,000 divided by we are basing on machine hours, and the machine hours for the packaging department, for the packaging machine hours is 60,000. So if we use our calculator, we can see that it's 89,000 divided by 60,000, and that's $48. So you can see that our answer is B. So B has become our answer. Okay, we're done with this one. Let's move on to this one. Lexisco needs to calculate the absorption rate for its assembly cost center and its finishing cost center. The assembly cost center is a largely machine based, okay, cost center, whereas the finishing cost center is largely labor based. The management of Lexisco have decided that the assembly cost center overheads should be absorbed on the basis of machine hours, and that the finishing cost center overheads should be absorbed on the basis of labor hours. The machine hours, so we are told that the assembly center is largely machine based. So for the assembly, we are going to use for the assembly is going to use machine, okay, and then finishing department is going to use labor, okay, it's going to use the labor basis, okay. I'm very busy. So for the assembly department, they are going to be absorbed on the basis of machine hours, and then these ones labor hours, okay, for the finishing. So machine hours in the assembly cost center are 100,000. This is the activity. Remember, remember the question is going to be, what is the overhead absorption rate for each cost center? So you have to be led by the principle, okay. For the assembly, we're going to say the budgeted activity, budgeted overhead. The overheads for the assembly cost center are 145,876 divided by the activity. The activity is going to be, machine hours are 100,000. So the OAR, overhead absorption rate, is going to be how much? This guy's okay, make it smaller now. Okay, we're going to say 100,000, 145. $145 876 divided by 100,000. That's $45. $46. Okay, and then for B, it's going to be the overheads for finishing, not B but F. The finishing is going to be 75624 divided by how many hours? 20,000. And 75624 over 20,000. That's $3.78. Okay, these are the OARs for each cost center overhead absorption rates. Okay, now continuing from this example, one of the products of the Lexus core is the Lexus brake. This product is direct material cost of okay, it has got direct material cost of $14.30 per unit and direct labor cost of $16.50. Okay, per unit. Each unit of Lexus brake spends 6 machine hours in the assembly cost center and 3 labor hours in the finishing cost center. The absorption rates calculated above are as follows: this and that assembly, $46 per machine hour, finishing $378 per labor hour. What is the full unit cost of production of the Lexus brake? Okay, this is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, remember we talked about the unity cost card. Okay, so this is actually a question that is testing us our understanding of the unit cost card. In this case, the unit is the Lexus brake. Okay, that's our unit here, Lexus brake. So we start with the direct materials. We are told the direct materials are costing how much? Direct material $14.30 per unit. $14.30. Direct labor, how much? $16.50. And then there is assembly overhead. The assembly overhead and finishing overhead. Okay, and why are we calculating the assembly overhead or finishing overhead? This is because we already know, okay, the overheads are being absorbed on machine hour and this and that. Okay, and we now know, because we have already calculated that the overheads were $46 and $378 in our previous example. Okay, $46 and $378. So we now know that they are overheads, but these overheads are split between the assembly department and the finishing department. So we are told that per hour, per unit, the Lexus brake spends 6 machine hours in the assembly, okay, and then 3 labor hours in the finishing cost center. So we are going to say for the assembly, overhead for the assembly, that's 6 hours of machine work, or 6 hours of machine hours. Okay, 6 hours on the machine, 6 hours multiplied by how much per machine hour. We are told that that's $46, and we've calculated this one. Okay, they're just using what these are the information which we've just calculated, $46. Okay, So 6 hours multiplied by $46. How much do we get? And then 3 labor hours multiplied by $3.78. How much do we get using our calculators? I turned it off, so I'm now in trouble. Okay, 6 multiplied by $46, that's $8.76. What's going on? And it doesn't want to come to. Okay, better. All right, so we are saying 6 by $46, $8.76, and then 3 by 3.78, $11.34. So the total cost of the product, or full production cost per unit, how much is it? We have to add them up, add these figures up. That's 1430 plus 1650 plus 8.76 plus 11.34, that's 50.9. That's the full cost of the product. Okay, I think we are left with okay. So this last this example, okay, on total overhead per product is testing us what we've already covered. However, let us just give it a quick run through. Okay, a business has two production departments, assembly and polishing. Okay, assembly and polishing. One of the products made in these departments is the Durant. Details for these departments and the Durant are as follows. Okay, overhead, assembly, polishing. All right. Overheads in the assembly department are to be absorbed on the basis of machine hours. So assembly is doing the machine hours, the polishing department on the basis of labor. So these guys, they are doing it on the basis of labor. Okay. So what happens is, how much overhead in total would be included in the cost of a Durant? So we are being asked indirectly about the OAR, overhead absorption rate. So overhead absorption rate for the assembly department is equal to the total overhead there was 94800 divided by we are using machine hours, so we go to the machine hours, that's 60,000, and we get the figure. How much is this figure? 94800 over 60,000, that's $58. And you look at the choices, and you can see that there is no $58. So it means that you are not yet through with the question. Okay, you are not yet through with the question. The question is asking your understanding of the OAR, but it's not actually asking of the OAR. Be careful. Be careful there. Then, what about the OAR for the polishing? The polishing, the overhead, budgeted overhead was in total was 74800 divided by the basis. That's where we get the activity. The basis was for labor hours, on labor hours. So 40,000. We are going to use 40,000. And we get 74800 divided by 40,000. We get $87. So this is the overhead absorbed per unit, and this is the overhead absorbed per unit. You can see the word absorbed now is it's better to understand it as budgeted per unit, overhead budgeted per unit, overhead absorbed per unit. So how much overhead in total would be included in the cost of a drum? So you just have to add these two figures, 158 plus 187. 187 already is there, plus 158. That's 345. That's our total, and this is our answer, 345. So our answer is A. Okay, now we are done with this part. There is I think another last part we need to discuss about. That example, you're going to do it on your own. Okay, there is this last part, okay, when we talk of the under or over absorption of overheads. Like I said, absorption here is just budgeting or budgeted, over budgeting of overheads. Okay, over budgeting or under budgeting of overheads. So if you take this word absorption as meaning budgeting, is something to do with the budgeting, then you won't get lost easily. All right, because we have budgeted, it's very rare for us to estimate, because budgeting is about estimating. It's very rare to estimate what is going to actually happen. Okay, so you discover that the actual results will differ from the planned results. Okay, so what happens is, if there is an over or if there is a discrepancy, that discrepancy is going to be under or over budgeting, under or over absorbing of overheads. Okay, so let us go through this example to see how to send this particular point home, so that we call it a day. Okay, the actual total production overhead expenditure of Ngamo Coal was 176,533. Its actual activity and the predetermined overhead absorption rates were as follows. So we have got that information and that information. All right. Direct labor hours, machine usage hours, predetermined overhead rates, absorption rates. Calculate the under or over absorption of overheads. And now that's what is going to happen. Okay, that's what we are going to do right now. So go to our worksheet. Let's go to this worksheet. So you can see that this question is testing us about our understanding of this equation. Overhead absorption rate is equal to budgeted overhead divided by budgeted activity. Okay, so for example, we're given the information here, we're given the overhead. This is the overhead absorption rate. Okay, it's there. These are the overhead absorption rates. Okay, and these are the activities, but we are not given the overheads, so we have to find this. For example, for machine shop A, the budgeted overhead is equal to, okay, for machine shop A, the overhead absorption rate was $7.94, was equal to budgeted overhead, and budgeted overhead is not given, but divided by budgeted activity. And what was the budgeted activity? We are given two activities: direct labor and machine usage hours. Okay, which one is the correct basis here? Which one shall we use? We are led by the overhead absorption rate. So it is saying that $7.94 per machine hour. So the machine hour figure is going to be used as our activity, 7300. So if we make BOH subject to the formula, we are saying that we're going to say, therefore, BOH, budgeted overheads is equal to $7.94 multiplied by 7,300, and we get how much? If you use our calculator, 7.94 multiplied by 7,300, we're going to have 57,962 dollars is our budgeted overhead. Okay, this is budgeted overhead for machine shop A. What about for machine shop B? Budgeted overheads for machine shop B using the same formula. We are going to have, what was the overhead absorption rate? The overhead absorption rate was $3.50 per machine hour. So we are going to use this figure again. It has something to do with machine usage hours. So these are the two figures we are going to use. So $3.50 multiplied by 18,700. $3.50 multiplied by 18,700. What are we going to get? Okay, good. So we are going to have $3.50 multiplied by 18,700. 700. So that's 450. Okay, 450. Then we are left with, is there any other department? Yes, there is the assembly. The overhead absorption rate was $2.24 per direct labor hour. So we're going to use the direct labor hour, this figure and this figure. So $2.24 multiplied by 21,900 for the assembly. I'm going to use $2.24 multiplied by 21,900. So that is going to be 224 multiplied by 21,900. That's 49,056. Okay, let's add them up. These were our budgets. Okay, we were planning that this was going to happen. Okay, so we're having 57,962 plus 65,450 plus 49,056. That's 172,468. 172,468. Okay, this was overheads absorbed or budgeted for. These were the overheads absorbed or budgeted for in total. All right, total overheads absorbed. Okay, now the question is saying, when we haven't answered the question yet, calculate the under or over absorption of overheads. Did we budget nicely? So to answer the question, let us use a different pen. These ones are not that different. Okay. Okay, we want to know the actual overheads. Actual overheads according to the question. The actual total production overhead was this one, 176,533. 176,533. So, but overheads absorbed according to our calculation was 172,468. Let us find the difference. What is the difference? The difference, 176,533, the actual, minus 172,468. There's a difference of 4065. That's the difference, 4065. And if you go to our answer, okay, in this case there is no multiple choice, fine. But the question is this an under or over absorption? You can see that there is been an under absorption. This is an under absorption. We under budgeted. Under absorption. We under budgeted. Why? Because according to our budget, we were supposed to incur $172,468 of overheads, but we incurred actually more. We incurred more of $176,533 of overheads. So there was an under absorption. I'm sure you've been helped with this video. Okay, this lecture I'm sure has been very useful for our studies. Okay, and I hope you will be helped. If you find anything challenging, please don't hesitate to contact your trainer. They will always be there. I will always be there to assist you so that you excel in your studies and ultimately your exam. Until we meet again, let us call it a very excellent goodbye. Okay, thank you very much.